So imagine you guys are reading a brand new story. You don't know what to put down in the story, but you really like something. So what we're going to talk to you about today is using sticky notes and what you can put on those sticky notes to remember what you're reading. Yes, Jordan.
So what symbols are we going to use?
I'm glad you asked. I've been wanting to talk about that all day. LOL. What do you think we could use LOL for?
Well, I know LOL means laugh out loud, so maybe something that's funny.
Exactly, a funny part. So we write that down on a sticky note and we put it next to a sentence that we think's funny. What do you think we could use the asterisk for?
I don't really know about the asterisk. I don't really know what that represents.
Think about the asterisk as having something of importance.
Okay.
Okay? So let's think about the exclamation point.
Something exciting?
Very exciting.
Okay.
So we put that down on a sticky note, stick it right next to it. When we open that book, we can tell our friends about how excited that was. What about the heart? We should all know about the heart.
Something you love.
Exactly. So, you got a girlfriend at home, you show her this part of the book, maybe it'll make her like you.
Okay.
Never know. But the question mark.
You got a question?
Exactly. Come back to class, you're reading it in the classroom, raise your hand, ask the teacher a question. This one, what about the quote up there? What do you think that could be used for?
Something you're thinking about?
Exactly. Something we're thinking about. So as the teacher, if you ask me a question, I'm able to give you an answer, but not give you the direct answer. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
All right. That was awesome.
Good.
Stuff to do with the Post-it. There are so many things that you can do with a Post-it. I am so grateful for Arthur Fry. I can jot things down, things that I've thought about. Sometimes I might be just walking around anywhere and I'm thinking, what can I do? I write it down on a Post-it. I can write things down, change my mind, throw them away, but I can revise them. I can sketch them. Look at this awesomeness. I can sketch something. I can talk about it with other people, write it down, write it on a Post-it. Or write long things on a Post-it. I can even throw the Post-it away. There's so many things that I can do with a Post-it. Stuff to do with the Post-it.
So, Shanice, have you heard from other teachers who are doing stop and jots?
Yes.
And what strategies? I mean, they're doing all these different strategies in their classrooms to encourage students to read.
Yes, and it's working so well in my classroom.
You too?
Yes.
Oh,
I am doing something called Stop, Think, and Jot. Okay? So
Awesome.
I allow my kids to come and get a pretty color notepad, whatever
cool.
color they like.
Can I choose one?
Yeah, grab one.
Oh, can I do pink?
Of course.
I love pink.
And then I also have pretty little pens and pencils and things they can choose from. You take
Okay,
whichever one.
Oh, blue.
Blue, my favorite color.
Nice.
So I give them a pretty pen, I give them a notepad, I give them the book or whatever genre they want to choose, or if it's something that I'm telling them that they have to read, and they read. After each section, I want them to stop, think, and jot. So what that means is, after you're done reading one of the sections, I want you to stop, I want you to think about it, I want you to jot it down. Is there some new info that you learned? Is there a new word that you learned? Is there an image that has you thinking one thing, but the book is saying another thing? Is it talking first, second, or third person? Like, what's going on in the story? I want you to write each section. I want you to write it on one sticky note, okay? So you can keep a list of what's going on in that book. So when you're done, and if you have any questions that you want to ask me, you come to me. We're going to talk about it.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah. So what's going on in your class?
So we're doing something really similar.
Okay.
Similar. We're doing something similar. So, of course, we have our jots, sticky notes. I'm not going to put them all over me. That would be kind of ridiculous. I don't know. Let's try.
The kids might like that.
You know what?
Take it to you.
I do it sometimes, and they crack up. So we stop, we jot, and basically our jots are kind of like little marginal notes.
Okay.
Yeah, if you see something you like, you write it down. Sometimes when we're within our sections, we do a what they thought. So they talk about what they thought in their section, and then we also do predictions.
Ooh, predictions, science experiments.
I know, right? So they get to predict before we go to the next section. They get to predict what they think is going to happen next. And I like that too.
I like
and
that.
when they actually get it, they get so excited.
Light bulb goes off.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Light bulb. So then we decide what we're gonna do next.
Okay.
So we're doing predictions this time, but
Next time
we might just do a stop thinking jot. What do you think?
Yes.
I know, isn't that awesome?
And it is, and I need to use that in my class predictions, because sometimes my students are like, hey, Miss Williams, they read the title and they're like, oh, I know what this is about. And I'm like, how do you know? Did you read the book yet? No, but I'm going to read it, but I know it's going to be about that. So next time, instead of us doing a stop thinking jot, we could do a stop thinking predict.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
See, we've got this. Oh yeah.
Collaboration.
Yeah, we got this. So we know what we're doing in our classrooms. What are you guys doing
We
to
want to
encourage
know.
reading?
Hello, friends! At the end of the week, when it's time to put your independent reading books away, you may find that you've accumulated a lot of sticky notes. And that's great. I'm sure there's a bunch of great information on them. But we probably don't need them all. So it's time to sort through what's the most important information and what's worth keeping. You're in luck, because I have a poster to help, entitled, What's Worth Keeping? So, ideas on sticky notes are worth saving when, number 1, it helps me understand my book. If the information on your sticky note helps you better understand your book, then of course you should keep it. If not, throw that sticky note away. We don't want it. Number 2, it connects to my goal. Again, if the information on said sticky note connects to your goal, that's awesome. You should keep it. If not, we don't want it. Number 3, it will help me talk to my teacher about my reading. Maybe you have a question that you wrote on the sticky note that you weren't sure about the text that you read. You should keep it and talk to your teacher about it. If not, we probably don't want it. Number 4, I will use it to springboard conversation. Maybe something you wrote on your sticky note could be talked about as a whole class. That's awesome. You should keep it. If not, though, get rid of it. Number 5, I intend to use it to write a longer entry about my reading. If so, keep that sticky note. If not, get rid of it. Now, you have the most important information with the sticky notes that you've kept. So you may ask, what are we going to do with it? I'm going to tell you. You'll organize them into your reading notebook with a title on the top of the page and the sticky notes that go with that book on the bottom of the page. And you will have your most important information that you wrote on those sticky notes about your text on that page. And that, my friends, is what's worth keeping. Until next time, keep it cool and be kind. Sticky notes are awesome!
Sticky notes are awesome.